Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now some more politics. First, there was the multi-million-pound ferry contract awarded to a company with no ferries and nowhere to dock them. Now Transport Secretary Chris Grayling has provoked renewed criticism at his attempts to deal with a possible disruption to food and medicine supplies in the event of a no-deal Brexit. He's been forced to scrap contracts with two more companies at a cost to taxpayers of an estimated £44 million. Is our business editor, Siobhan Kennedy.
One had already sunk. Now Captain Chris has waved goodbye to the rest of his no-deal fleet. Despite the fact they didn't run a single service, he still managed to sink nearly £44 million, just keeping his ferries afloat. Not for the first time, the Transport Secretary Chris Grayling found himself having to defend his spending.
People would expect a responsible government to take out an insurance policy, and that's what we've done, to make sure we can deal with all the challenges in the no-deal Brexit. We never wanted it, we never worked for it, but we certainly needed to be ready for it.
It was fears of gridlock at the UK's biggest port in Dover that prompted Mr Grayling to organise emergency services to ferry food and medicines to and from the UK in the event of no deal. Originally, three firms, DFDS, Brittany Ferries and little-known Seabourn Freight, were chosen to add dozens of new sailings. But then Mr Grayling was forced to pull the plug on Seabourn, remember the ferry company with no ferries. Now today, he's casting off the others as well. It's not unusual for business contracts to carry hefty break fees if the agreement is called off, but three things stand out about this. First, the size of the fee, tens of millions of pounds. Second, the fact that it's the taxpayer on the hook. And third, that they are getting absolutely nothing in return for their money. And Channel 4 News understands that another ferry operator, P&O, is seeking as much as £10 million in compensation, even though it was never involved in the plans in the first place. P&O saw an opportunity to go after Mr Grayling after he was forced to pay £33 million to Eurotunnel, who successfully sued the government for not including train operators in its no-deal plans.
People are having a field day with this. They're not doing anything to get tens and tens of millions of taxpayers' money. This is an absolute scandal. Chris Grayling just flushes it down the toilet on every occasion.
Not how Chris Grayling sees it. He says pulling the plug now stops the taxpayer forking out for ferries that aren't being used. One thing's for sure, though. This latest cheque brings to nearly £80 million the total sunk so far by Her Majesty's Transport Secretary on no-deal plans that came to nothing.